Hello everybody, my name is WingItMan, and today we're going to be teleporting, or making some teleporting scripts. So open your Roblox Studio and open a fresh new base plate or terrain. It doesn't really matter. As per usual, we'll be using the Properties window. We're using Explorer, which is in the View tab, and that's pretty much all we need really. We don't need to do any debugging with output. So let's get started. Right click on Starter Pack or Starter GUI, insert Object. I'm going to insert a local script for now. I'll just set up this script so we can use it. We need our player, our character, and we also need our mouse. They're not absolutely necessary, but this is pretty much for testing purposes. We'll need a function called teleport for obvious reasons. We're going to give it a position that we're teleporting to, and with our mouse, when we click our button one down, we're going to trigger that teleport function, teleport, and we're going to give it our mouse.hit.p, which is where we're pointing to in the world. So there's our character, what we'll be transporting, and when we click our mouse button down, it will activate this function and give it where our mouse is pointing in the world. I'll just set up another variable called model, which we'll set for to our character for now. Okay, so there are 5 different types of teleportation methods that I've come across. 6 if you include this first one that I'll show you, which I'll set up now. Model.torso.position equals position. Why shouldn't that work? Eh? It's pretty straightforward. You're just setting a part's position to where we're pointing. Let's see if it works. Well, it does work with singular parts like that, or our base plate, but for our character here, yeah, not quite the same, is it? So how do we get around that? Well, the easiest way is to use the C-frame. So in each part there's a variable called C-frame. It's not shown on the properties list for whatever reason Roblox decides, I don't know. But basically C-frame takes into consideration welds, and it doesn't break apart your, in other words, it doesn't break apart your character whenever you use it, which is handy. I don't think you can C-frame your head or other body parts. I think it's only a part of torso. I'm not too sure, you'll have to experiment with that. But this is basically how a C-frame looks. A C-frame can take 2 parameters. C-frame.new. It can take a position, which will give it now, and it can also take a direction, which we'll leave as we'll leave for now. Let's see if that works. As you can see, when I click, our character teleports. Yeah, it even does a little bounce, but that's mainly because with C-frames, there's no messing around. When it's positioning my torso, the center of my torso is about where my that blue shine finger, whatever you call it, is. So it's setting that position to wherever I'm pointing. So it's taking the X and Z, but it's also taking the Y coordinate. That's why my character goes into the ground slightly. You can fix this by offsetting your C-frame, but let's get the direction of a C-frame out of the way first. So as I said, you can set a direction to a C-frame as well, or where the C-frame is looking. Let's try that. Equals model dot position, torso dot position minus position. So I'm taking a vector 3. I'm taking the two positions of where my character is, where my torso is, and where I'm pointing to, and I'm going to minus that between itself, and that's going to give me a direction, this line of code. So in a direction, which you can do with C-frame new position, comma, direction. Let's try that. So when I click now, I should be pointing in the direction that I'm clicking, which I am. It even forces me into the ground. Okay, so that's basically C-framing. As I said, you can also offset a C-frame. You can do this by timesing a C-frame by another C-frame. So let's say if I wanted to offset the position of where I am. So if I wanted my character to not go into the ground, I would say C-frame.new, and my body character is about 6 dots out, something like that. Let's just give it that 2.5. Let's see what happens. So it's taking the position that I'm pointing at, and it's going to elevate that position. It's going to add 2.5 to wherever that position is. As you can see, I don't move into the ground, and I look a bit funny as well, but that's alright. That's basically how you offset. You can offset in any direction. So what's the other methods that we can use? The other method that we can use is for models, which our character is a model, so that's no problem. Characters are models, but for this demonstration I'm going to be using this barrel. So let's change this. So our model equals workspace exploding barrel. Okay. So model move to is the function, position. That's basically the line of code that you're going to use. One thing I nearly forgot to add: you can't use move to, the move to function on your character unless you set the achievable property to true. So just keep that in mind. If your character is not teleporting, just try that. See if it works. So I'm not teleporting myself now, I'm teleporting this barrel, and it does. It works. Perfect. As you notice though, with move to, it doesn't force a position. It doesn't. As you can see, I'm clicking here, just at the bottom of my feet, and it's putting the barrel on my head. So you might not want this, and in map scripts, map cycles and whatnot, you might not want this. You might want an exact position, a force position, which move to doesn't do. It's okay for most things, but the way to get around this is by using C-frame function. So if I just open the context help, this is on the view tab. Context help. It's basically a mini Roblox wiki, which is handy. I've already got the model page open. If you just highlight model or a model object within your game, it will take you to the appropriate page. So set primary part C-frame. This is what we're going to be using. Just like transporting our character's torso about. If you noticed before when I put this barrel into the game, it has this strange little grey square on top of the barrel. If I look at the properties window of the barrel, this is highlighting the primary part as the base bottom. So if I highlight that, you can see the exact same parts. The primary, this has already got a primary part set to the model. So when I C-frame this this barrel, it's going to C-frame this base bottom, or the primary part of the model. So let's try that. Let's get rid of that. So set model, set primary part C-frame. So this is the exact same as C-framing your character's torso. Actually, I don't think you can. Let me just try this. Model dot primary parts C-frame equals C-frame dot new. I'm going to set it to the position. I don't think this should work. Not sure. Let's see. Hey, it does work. But I didn't know that. Well, that's something to keep in mind. You can just C-frame the primary part, which is handy. But what if your model doesn't have a primary part? Well, give it one. Model.primary part equals model.bottom. So that's setting the primary parts of the bottom here, which that should work as well. Anyways, set primary part C-frame. I don't really know why this function's in here now, because you can do it that other method. This function takes a C-frame as well, which, as you learnt before, with C-frames it takes two vectors to make a C-frame, or if you're not bothered about rotation. Let's see if it works. It does, but it turns it upside down. Oops. And see, that's supposed to be the top there. That's supposed to be the bottom. But it's doing it the other way around. One way you can fix this is by offsetting the C-frame. So C-frame dot angles, and C-frames deal with times C-frame dot angles. C-frames use radians, so math.rad for radian. I want to rotate it 180 degrees. See if that works. So this face should be pointed up again, which it does. Oops. Fantastic. The last method of teleportation that I'm aware of, is teleporting between games. So I'm going to get my game I'm going to get the game's ID from the URL, copy, and teleport service, local teleport service equals game get service teleport service. So I've got the teleport service, which is going to be used to teleport me from game to game. Teleport service, full colon, teleport. Very simple function. Teleports your character to those that place ID. Let's see if it works. And yep, I'm teleporting. And it's going to teleport me to my game hub. Yep, that's working. We'll cut that off there. One thing to keep in mind though, this is being used in a local script. But if you're using a server script, or a normal script, however you call it, you need to define the second parameter as player for server script, or player character, whichever. And that should work fine. I do ramble, don't I? Okay, I think that's pretty much everything. Yep. That's all the methods I can think of. Thank you for watching, and if anything I said that doesn't make too much sense, or I didn't explain too well, please forgive me, and please ask me, send me a message on Roblox or on YouTube, and I'll try and answer your question. If you liked, please leave a like and a comment. Tell me what you think. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.